Welcome to Spiritual Confidence Podcast. I'm Karen Barner, your host. I want to talk today about your identity. How do you identify yourself? In what way is your identity? Like I'll talk to people and they'll be like, well, I identify myself. I'll say, well, who are you? And they'll say, I'm a nurse, I'm a doctor. But is that really your identity, or is that how you're choosing to identify yourself? Some people say, I'm an entrepreneur. Well, is that your identity as an entrepreneur, or do you have the characteristics of an entrepreneur? I think we need to take time to look at how we identify ourselves. And how we identify ourselves continue to match the person that you're evolving to become? For 25 years, I've identified myself as Karen Barno, the founder of Arizona Alpha, the state's largest trade association dedicated exclusively to assisted living. We help draft initial rules and continue to help build assisted living to be resident-centered. But is that really who I am? Or am I much more than that? I love doing videos. I love podcasting. I love helping women build their businesses. I love helping women transform their lives to become the person they're meant to be. But do I identify with Karen the coach, or do I identify with Karen the association, or is it all wrapped into one? I think it's important that we take time to look at how we identify ourselves, and does our outward identity match who we really are inwardly? Because if you're identifying with, this person that started an association 25 years ago, does that still match? In my case, in a lot of ways it does, because I started my own business. I'm constantly starting things because I'm a startup person. I love starting things. So that's how I identify myself. But I never identified myself as a podcaster, for instance. Now, I've done podcasting for a couple years, and if you look at it, it's been a roller coaster. Sometimes I'm locked in, and every week, and other times there's gaps. It's because I never identified myself as a podcaster, because I look at podcasters as somebody that, has this great business, they're making this great amount of money, they're locked into what they're doing. And I realized when I was thinking about this a couple weeks ago, that I need to shift my identity. I need to shift it away from what I do, to who am I. And I think that's where people get messed up in, is they identify themselves with what they do, not who are they. Because when you start to think about who you are, sometimes it can be a scary road. It can be a lot of dark days, and you start doing that reconnecting within to try to figure out why you do what you do, what motivates you, what keeps you going. I mean, when I look back and think, what has kept me going for 25 years doing the exact same job? But it's been new every day, and so that's part of who I am. I like constant change. If this job was the same day in, day out, I sat and argued about the same issues day in and day out and discussed the same issues, then I wouldn't be attracted to it. It's the constant evolution that defines who I am. I like change, and that's why I love helping women transform their lives, because I love watching that light bulb moment when they're like, holy smokes, I get it. I also identified myself for years, somebody that was just always going to be chubby. You've heard me tell the story, the fat gene, all that. But I've been trying to lose the last 15 pounds forever, and I've talked about it in podcasts. And I realized that is my identity. My identity is not this thin woman who's always coiffed. My identity is kind of a frumpy person. Now stay with me with this, because I am a brutally honest person with myself, probably to a fault. And so I have to sit back and think, well, why do I think I'm frumpy? Where does that come from? Where is that an identity? Because in your mind, your beliefs that you tell yourself is how you identify yourself. And that's why you're always trying to look at your belief system to say, okay, where does frumpy come from? Where is that? And I still don't know, because I haven't done a deep dive on it yet, but I'm sure, it comes from somewhere. But once I realized that, it was kind of like, okay, well, that's not really who you are. You're certainly not frumpy at all. So let's stop that and let's heal that. And so probably the weight loss will start back up again, because I've healed that piece of how I identify myself. And a way to see how you identify yourself is, when you self-talk, what do you say to yourself? Oh, I can't go to that meeting. Nobody will like me. I can't go to that meeting. I won't be as smart as everybody in the room. I can't go to that meeting because I won't know anybody, or, I really wasn't invited. I'm a wing person of somebody else. And so you identify yourself with that. But what happens if you identified yourself as a businesswoman who does whatever you do, and you earn a great income, you have a great family, but who are you? Identify with who you are. One of my identities, I'm a funny person. I think I'm a funny person. I've always thought about doing a stand-up comedy routine. I haven't done it yet, but at one point I will. Your identity defines who you are. How you define you is who you are. So take the time to really look and say, instead of saying, oh, I own a Chick-fil-A. I have a friend who owns a Chick-fil-A. I own a Chick-fil-A, or I make jewelry. Oh, I coach women this way. But who are you at your core? If you strip away all the labels and you're sitting there one night completely by yourself, and your spirit angel sits down next to you and looks at you and says, who are you? And did you become who he wanted you to become, who you dreamt of becoming? And if you're like, well, I don't really know who I am, then it's hard to become the person you're meant to be. Because you have to understand what your strengths are, your weaknesses. You have to understand who you are at your core. What are your core beliefs? Not everybody around you. If you're a people pleaser, and I did a presentation a week ago, and somebody raised their hand, and I was so proud of this person because he talked about being a people pleaser. If you're a people pleaser or you fear criticism, that is how you're defining yourself. You're saying, I'm not going to launch this group coaching program because I'm afraid of criticism. And I allowed criticism to hold me back for a long time. And I am getting ready to launch a group coaching program. And if you're watching this in July, August of 2022, or listening to this, then check out my website, my new group coaching. I'm working on a group purchasing program as well in my day job. So take time to define who you are at your core, not what you do, but who am I? I think that's the most important question we can ask, because whenever you make shifts in your life, people look at you and be like, why are you doing that? You're this person. You're allowed to change. You're allowed to shift your identity. It's how we evolve as humans. So I hope this helped you guys. If you want to talk at all, in any way possible, DM me. I'm on, LinkedIn, Facebook. I have a free group, Spiritual Confidence. Go over and join my free group. I try to do videos every day. I said I was going to commit to doing one a day, and over the weekend it was like, nope. So we're going to I'll do one every day, but not on the weekends, because it seems the weekends get too hectic for me. You can reach out for me on TikTok. I think I told the story in another podcast. I was talking to a bunch of youngins about being on TikTok, and they're like, you're on TikTok? And I'm like, yeah. I said, go check me out. And they look up to, you have almost 6,000 followers. I'm like, yes, because I'm on TikTok. So check that out. And see, that came with my identity. I wouldn't go on TikTok because I'm like, oh no, that's for the young kids. That's not for, a woman over, a woman who's 64. That's for the young kids. And I realized that's my identity. Change that identity, Karen. Change the identity that you want to help as many women as you can transform their lives to step into their most powerful self and find their blue rose and be amazing. So I'm on whatever platform I can be on that will help me serve them. That is my identity. Have a great day, you guys. I hope this helped you guys a lot. Here's to you finding your blue rose. Again, if you have any questions, reach out. If you're watching this on iTunes, give me a review, much appreciated. If you're watching this on YouTube, give me a subscribe and also a review. Otherwise, have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye-bye.